In the realm of modern home design, minimalism is more than just a trend. It is a lifestyle that champions clarity, intentionality, and the beauty of function. For the urban dweller or the owner of a small home, the garden is not a sprawling acreage, but an intimate extension of the living space, a sanctuary where every element must serve a purpose. This brings us to a delightful intersection of aesthetics and utility, the potted fruit garden. Integrating fruit plants into a minimalist garden does not mean sacrificing clean lines for chaotic overgrowth. On the contrary, many fruit-bearing plants offer striking architectural forms, vibrant pops of color, and lush textures that complement a restrained palate. Whether it is the glossy leaves of a citrus tree, the sculptural branches of a fig, or the cascading greenery of strawberries, these plants are living sculptures that reward you with a harvest. This guide explores the best fruit plants for small, minimalist spaces, detailing how to style them, care for them, and ensure they thrive with ease. Part 1. The philosophy of the minimalist edible garden. Before diving into plant species, it is essential to establish the design principles that will keep your small garden feeling spacious and serene rather than cluttered. 1. The vessel matters. Pot selection. In a minimalist garden, the pot is as important as the plant to maintain visual coherence. Uniformity is key. Avoid a hodgepodge of different materials and colors. Stick to one or two shapes, e.g., sleek cylinders or cubes, and a monochromatic color scheme. Matte black, slate gray, white, or concrete finishes work best. Scale and proportion. A common mistake in small gardens is using too many small pots, which creates visual clutter. Instead, opt for fewer, larger containers. A single large pot with a substantial fig tree makes a stronger, calmer statement than 5 small pots of herbs. Material, concrete and fiberstone are excellent choices. They are heavy enough to prevent toppling in wind, but have the smooth, unadorned finish that defines modern minimalism. 2. Strategic placement. The rule of odds. Arrange pots in groups of 3 or 5 to create a natural yet balanced look. Verticality. In small spaces, grow up. Use walls for espaliered trees or hanging planters to keep the floor clear. Negative space. Leave breathing room between your plants. The empty space highlights the unique form of each plant, turning it into a focal point. 3. Surface textures. To complete the look, top dress your soil. Bare dirt can look messy. Cover the soil surface with a layer of gray river rocks, white pebbles, or black slate chips. This not only looks polished, but also helps retain soil moisture and prevents weeds. Part 2. Top easy-to-grow fruit plants for minimalist pots. The following plants have been selected for their compact growth habits, aesthetic appeal, and relatively low maintenance requirements. 1. The sculptural icon, dwarf fig, Ficus carica. Figs are the darlings of the design world. With their large, lobed leaves and smooth, silvery bark, they look stunning even when not fruiting. Why it fits minimalism. The fig tree has a naturally open, branching habit that looks architectural. It casts dramatic shadows against a plain wall. Best variety, Little Miss Figgy or Petite Negra. These dwarf varieties are bred specifically for pots and won't grow into massive trees. Care. Sun. Needs full sun, at least 6 to 8 hours. Water. Drought-tolerant once established, but fruits best with consistent watering. Soil. Standard well-draining potting mix. Tip. Figs actually like having their roots restricted, making them perfect for containers. 2. The pop of color. Meyer lemon. Citrus times Mary. A citrus tree is a classic addition to a patio. The deep, glossy green leaves provide a year-round backdrop, while the bright yellow fruits add a sophisticated splash of color. Why it fits minimalism. It offers a clean, structured shape. You can prune it into a lollipop standard form, a single clear trunk with a round canopy, for a very formal, modern look. Best variety. Improved Meyer lemon. It is sweeter than a regular lemon, has thin skin, and fruits prolifically in pots. Care. Sun. Craves intense sun. South-facing spots are ideal. Water. Citrus hates wet feet. Let the top 2 inches of soil dry out before watering deeply. Feeding, heavy feeder. Use a citrus-specific fertilizer seasonally. 3. The vertical aesthetic. Blueberries, Vaccinium spp. Blueberries are often overlooked as ornamental plants, but they are beautiful. They offer delicate white bell flowers in spring, dusty blue fruit in summer, and fiery red foliage in autumn. Why it fits minimalism. They naturally grow in a neat, bushy mound that rarely requires shaping. Best variety. Top hat or sunshine blue. These are compact dwarf shrubs that max out at 2 to 3 feet tall and don't need a pollinator partner, though 2 plants increase yields. Care. Soil. This is the most important factor. Blueberries need acidic soil, pH 4.5 to 5.5. Use an ericaceous compost or mix peat moss into your soil. Water. They have shallow roots and dry out easily. Keep soil consistently moist. Rainwater is preferred over tap water if you live in a hard water area. 4. The ground cover. Alpine strawberries, Fragaria vesca. Unlike their sprawling cousins, alpine strawberries, often called fraises de bois, are clump-forming and don't send out messy runners. They produce tiny, intensely flavorful berries. Why it fits minimalism. They stay in neat little mounds. They are perfect for underplanting a larger tree, like your citrus, or lining a window box in a straight, repetitive row. Best variety. Mignonette or Alexandria. Care. Sun. Tolerates partial shade better than other fruits. Water. Keep moist. Tip. These are everbearing, meaning you get a few berries every day throughout the season rather than one big harvest. 5. The modern vine. Passion fruit, Passiflora edulis. If you have a plain fence or wall that needs covering, a passion fruit vine is a fast-growing solution that provides lush green screening. Why it fits minimalism. The flowers are geometrically complex and stunningly beautiful. The vine can be trained along wires for a clean, linear green wall effect. Best variety. Possum purple is self-fertile and handles containers well. Care. Support. Needs a strong trellis or wire system. Feeding. Vigorous grower that needs regular feeding to support the lush foliage. 6. The Mediterranean touch. Olive, Olea europea. While technically a fruit, we cure it to eat it. The olive tree is the epitome of minimalist chic with its sage green, small leaves, and gnarled trunk. Why it fits minimalism. The muted color palette of the foliage complements concrete and natural stone perfectly. It is slow-growing and maintains a manageable size. Best variety. Arbequina. It is a heavy fruit even when young and compact. Care. Sun. Full sun is non-negotiable. Water. Very drought-tolerant. Allow to dry out completely between waterings. Climate. If you live in a cold area, you will need to move the pot indoors or into a garage during deep freezes. Part 3. Essential care for container success. Growing in pots is different from growing in the ground. The roots are isolated, meaning the plant relies entirely on you for water and nutrients. However, this also gives you control, allowing you to create the perfect soil environment. 1. The soil foundation. Don't use garden soil. It is too heavy and will compact in a pot, suffocating roots. The mix. Use a high-quality organic potting mix. For most fruit trees, mix in 20% perlite or coarse grit to ensure excellent drainage. The secret weapon, compost. Mix a few handfuls of compost into the soil when planting. It adds nutrients and helps retain moisture without waterlogging. 2. Watering. The Goldilocks zone. Overwatering kills more potted plants than underwatering. The finger test. Stick your finger into the soil up to the second knuckle. If it feels dry, water. If it's damp, wait. Deep watering. When you water, do it until water runs freely out of the drainage holes. This encourages roots to grow deep into the pot rather than staying near the surface. Mulch. As mentioned in the design section, a layer of pebbles or bark chips on top reduces evaporation, meaning you have to water less often. 3. Feeding the harvest. Nutrients wash out of pots every time you water. You must replenish them. Slow release. In early spring, mix a granular, slow-release organic fertilizer into the top inch of soil. Liquid boost. During the fruiting and flowering season, spring-summer, use a liquid seaweed or fish emulsion fertilizer every 2 to 4 weeks. Part 4. A seasonal maintenance calendar. To keep your garden easy to manage, follow this simple seasonal rhythm. Spring, the awakening. Repotting, check if roots are circling the bottom of the pot. If so, move to a slightly larger pot or trim the roots and refresh the soil. Feeding. Apply your slow-release fertilizer. Pruning. Remove any dead wood or crossing branches to open up the center of the plant to sunlight. Pest watch. Look for aphids on new growth. Wipe them off with a damp cloth or spray with a mild neem oil solution. Summer, the growth and harvest. Watering. This is the critical time. In heat waves, you may need to water daily. Harvesting. Pick fruit as soon as it ripens. Leaving rotting fruit on the plant invites pests. Pinching. For herbs or strawberries, pinch off runners or leggy growth to keep the plant compact and energy-focused on fruit. Autumn, the wind down. Cleanup. Remove fallen leaves from the top of the pot to prevent fungal diseases. Last feed. Stop fertilizing. You don't want to encourage new soft growth that will be damaged by winter cold. Mulching. Add a thicker layer of mulch to insulate the roots against upcoming cold. Winter dormancy. Protection. If you live in a freezing climate, wrap pots in bubble wrap or burlap to prevent the pot and roots from freezing through. Move tender plants like citrus indoors or against a warm, south-facing wall. Watering. Plants need very little water now. Check once a month. Part 5. Design layouts for small spaces. Here are 3 specific layout ideas using the plants mentioned above, tailored for different minimalist aesthetics. Layout A. The Zen Corner. Focus on serenity. The Vibe. Calm, meditative green. The plants. 1 large olive tree and a tall, round, gray concrete planter as the centerpiece. Surround it with 3 smaller, low bowl planters containing alpine strawberries. The look. The height difference creates visual interest, while the repeated strawberry pots create a sense of order. The gray concrete contrasts beautifully with the olive's silver-green leaves. Layout B. The Modern Linear. Focus on structure. The Vibe. Sleek, architectural, defined. The plants. 3 dwarf fig trees placed in identical square, black fiber stone planters. The arrangement. Line them up perfectly straight along a wall or fence with equal spacing, e.g., 2 feet apart between them. The look. The repetition creates a strong visual rhythm, making a small space feel longer. The sculptural branches of the figs look like art against the wall. Layout C. The Vertical Green. Focus on space saving. The Vibe. Lush but organized. The plants. 1 Meyer lemon in a corner pot. On the adjacent wall, install a wire trellis for a passion fruit vine. At the foot of the lemon tree, plant trailing herbs like thyme or oregano or blueberries. The look. This maximizes green space without taking up floor space. The vine draws the eye upward, making the garden feel taller. Part 6. Overcoming common challenges. Even in an easy garden, issues can arise. Here is how to handle them without stress. 1. The leggy look. Sometimes plants grow tall and spindly, looking messy. Solution. Pruning is your friend. Don't be afraid to cut back. For blueberries and citrus, tipping, cutting off the very end of a branch, encourages the plant to branch out and become bushier. 2. Pests in a small garden. You don't want to spray harsh chemicals. Solution. Companion planting. Plant a pot of marigolds or basil near your fruit. The strong scent confuses pests and attracts beneficial insects like ladybugs. The soap spray. Mix 1 teaspoon of mild liquid dish soap with 1 quart of water. Spray on aphids or mites. It's safe, cheap, and effective. 3. Heavy pots. You want to move your fig tree to a sunnier spot, but the pot weighs a ton. Solution. Put your large pots on heavy-duty plant dollies, wheeled platforms. You can find modern, low-profile ones that are barely visible. Alternatively, use pot-in-pot methods where a plastic grow pot sits inside the decorative heavy pot, making it easier to lift out the plant if needed. Conclusion. Creating a minimalist fruit garden is not about deprivation, it is about curation. By selecting the right plants, those that offer both visual beauty and delicious produce, and housing them in vessels that complement your home's architecture. You transform a small outdoor space into a productive retreat. The joy of the minimalist garden lies in the morning ritual, stepping out onto your patio, the air crisp, and plucking a single, perfect fig or a handful of dew-covered blueberries for your breakfast. It connects you to the season and the soil, even in the heart of a city. Start with one pot, choose a plant that speaks to you, and watch your edible oasis grow. In the world of interior and exterior design, minimalism has evolved. It is no longer just about white walls and empty spaces. It is about curation. It is the art of selecting a few meaningful elements that spark joy and serve a purpose. For the modern homeowner, the garden is an extension of this philosophy. The trend of functional ornamentation, decor that performs a task, has given rise to a new wave of garden design, the potted fruit garden. Gone are the days when vegetable patches were relegated to the hidden corners of the backyard due to their messiness. Today, fruit plants are being reclaimed as architectural features. A well-placed olive tree offers the same visual gravity as a sculpture. A trellis of passion fruit provides privacy more beautifully than a fence. This guide delves into the aesthetics of the edible garden. We will explore how to style, arrange, and decorate a small, minimalist space using fruit plants in pots, blending the line between a productive harvest and high-end design. Part 1. The design language of minimalism. Before buying a single pot, it is crucial to understand the design language that makes a space feel minimalist. When working with organic matter, plants that grow, shed, and change shape, maintaining a minimalist look requires intention. 1. Form follows function. In minimalist design, every object must have a reason for existing. In a decorative fruit garden, the function is dual. The plant provides food, and the pot provides structure. The concept of ma, negative space borrowing from Japanese design, ma is the space between things. In a fruit garden, do not crowd your pots. If you have a lemon tree and a fig tree, the empty space between them is as important as the trees themselves. It allows the eye to rest and appreciate the unique branching structure of each plant. 2. The color palette. A minimalist garden relies on a restrained color palette. Green is the neutral. In garden design, green is not a color. It is the background. The hardscape, the floor, decking, concrete, stone, and the walls should be neutral. Whites, grays, warm woods, or black. The accents. The fruit itself provides the accent colors. Imagine a slate gray wall highlighted by the bright orange of kumquats, or a whitewashed patio punctuated by the deep purple of ripe figs. This seasonal shift in color keeps the decor dynamic without feeling cluttered. 3. Texture over pattern. Minimalism avoids busy patterns. Instead, it celebrates texture. Foliage contrast. Pair large, glossy leaves like a rubber plant or a banana tree, with fine, feathery foliage like fennel or an olive tree. Pot texture. Contrast the smoothness of a ceramic pot with the roughness of a tree trunk. Part 2. The vessel as architecture. In a potted garden, the container is the most significant furniture piece. It sets the tone for the entire aesthetic. Choosing the right pots is the difference between a garden that looks like a nursery storage area and one that looks like a curated atrium. 1. Material consistency. The golden rule of minimalist gardening is to limit your materials. Do not mix terracotta, plastic, glazed ceramic, and wood all in one space. Choose one primary material and stick to it. Concrete/fiberstone. These are the top choices for modern minimalism. They offer a raw, industrial look that contrasts beautifully with lush green leaves. Gray concrete pairs well with the cool tones of olive and blueberry foliage. Matte black/charcoal. Dark pots recede visually, making the green plants pop. They frame the plant like a photograph. White ceramic/composite. Perfect for a Scandi minimalist look. White pots reflect light, making small spaces feel larger and airier. They look stunning with bright citrus fruits. Warm corten steel. For a more rustic or industrial minimalist vibe, rusted steel planters add warmth without intricate patterns. 2. Shape and scale. Geometric forms. Stick to simple shapes, cylinders, cubes, or rectangles. Avoid urns with fluted edges or pots with embossed patterns. The straight lines of a square planter echo the architectural lines of a modern home. Oversized is better. A common mistake in small gardens is using many small pots. This creates visual noise. Instead, use fewer, larger pots. One massive 60 centimeters pot with a substantial fruit tree has more impact and elegance than 10 small 20 centimeters pots. The standard form. Look for pots with straight sides rather than tapered bottoms. Straight-sided cylinder pots look more contemporary and stable. 3. Top dressing. The final polish. The soil in a pot can look messy and unfinished. To elevate the look, use top dressing, a layer of decorative aggregate on top of the soil. Black lava rock creates a high-contrast, moody look. White pebbles, clean, spa-like aesthetic, but can get dirty over time. Slate chips, flat, gray stones that look very architectural. Practical benefit. This isn't just decor. It prevents soil from splashing up onto the leaves when you water and keeps moisture in. Part 3. Styling specific aesthetics. Minimalism comes in different flavors. Depending on your home's interior, you can adapt your fruit garden to match. Here are 3 distinct styling approaches. Style A. The Scandi-Nordic minimalist. The vibe. Hygge, light woods, white walls, functionality, softness. The plant palette. Focus on berries and soft textures. Alpine strawberries, planted in white window boxes. Blueberries, their small leaves and autumnal red color fit the cozy Nordic vibe. Lingonberries, low-growing evergreen shrubs. The decor, use planters with wooden legs, mid-century modern style. Incorporate natural elements like a simple birch wood bench. Layout, symmetrical and orderly. A row of 3 identical white pots on a wooden plant stand. Style B. The Industrial Urban Minimalist. The vibe, lofts, concrete, steel, high contrast, moody. The plant palette, structural and edgy plants. Dragon fruit, pitaya. This cactus-like fruit vine is incredibly sculptural. It looks like an alien art piece. Fig trees, kept pruned with an open center to show off the silver bark. Espaliered apples, trained flat against a brick wall. The decor, square concrete planters or galvanized steel troughs. Lighting should be stark, uplights that cast dramatic shadows on the walls at night. Layout, rigid and linear. Use rectangular trough planters to create walls or dividers on a balcony. Style C. The Tropical Modern Minimalist. The vibe, Bali modern, resort style, lush but contained, dark greens. The plant palette, large leaves and exotic fruits. Dwarf banana. Even if it doesn't fruit heavily in a small pot, the massive paddle leaves are instant decor. Papaya, grows fast and straight up with a palm-like canopy. Monstera deliciosa, fruit salad plant. Yes, it produces edible fruit. Kaffir lime, for the bumpy, interesting fruit and aromatic leaves. The decor, dark gray or charcoal stone pots. Teak wood accents. Layout, asymmetrical clustering. Group plants of different heights, 1 tall papaya, 1 medium lime, 1 low pineapple, to create a lush corner vignette. Part 4. Layout strategies for small spaces. How you arrange the pots determines the flow and feel of the garden. 1. The green wall, verticality. In a small footprint, the walls are your canvas. Espalier as art. Espalier is the ancient practice of training a tree to grow flat against a wall. A lemon or apple tree trained in a candelabra or fan shape against a plain white wall serves the same decorative purpose as a painting. It turns a living organism into a geometric pattern. The wire grid. Install a sleek, stainless steel wire grid on a wall and grow a passion fruit vine up it. The vine softens the hard architecture, and the hanging purple fruits look like ornaments. 2. Zoning with planters. Use rectangular trough planters to define areas. The privacy screen. If your balcony faces a neighbor, use tall, dense fruit plants like a columnar apple tree or a bushy citrus to create a green wall. This acts as a soft barrier that blocks the view but lets light filter through. The transition. Place a pair of statement pots, like standard bay trees or kumquats, on either side of a door to mark the transition from indoor to outdoor. 3. The stage effect. Don't just leave pots on the floor. Varying the height creates visual interest. Plant stands. Use simple metal or wood stands to elevate rear pots. This allows you to layer plants without the back ones getting lost. Floating shelves. If you have a solid wall, install heavy-duty floating shelves to hold smaller pots of herbs or strawberries. This keeps the floor completely clear, which is the ultimate space-saving hack for small balconies. Part 5. Lighting and Atmosphere. A decorative garden should look as good at night as it does during the day. Lighting is essential for creating ambience. 1. Uplighting. Place small, waterproof LED spotlights at the base of your large trees, like the olive or fig. Point the light upward into the canopy. Effect. This highlights the branching structure and the shape of the leaves from below, creating a dramatic, sculptural ceiling of green. 2. Silhouette lighting. If you have a plant against a wall, like an espalier, wash the wall with light from behind or above. Effect. This turns the plant into a silhouette, emphasizing its dark, graphic shape against the illuminated wall. 3. Warm versus cool light. For a cozy, welcoming home garden, always choose warm white, 2700K to 3000K bulbs. Cool white or blue-tone lights can make a garden look sterile and like a public park. Warm light mimics the glow of fire and feels more intimate. Part 6. Maintenance as Aesthetics. In a minimalist garden, there is nowhere to hide. You cannot hide a dying branch behind a bush. Therefore, maintenance becomes part of the aesthetic discipline. 1. The art of pruning. You are not just pruning for fruit production, you are pruning for shape. Lift the skirt. For trees like citrus or olives, prune away the lower branches to expose the trunk. This gives the plant a tree shape rather than a bush shape, which looks cleaner and allows you to see the beautiful pod underneath. Open center. Prune out the middle of the canopy to create an airy feel. This allows light to pass through the plant, preventing it from looking like a dark, solid blob. 2. Cleaning the decor. Wipe the leaves. In the city, dust settles on leaves. A dusty plant looks tired. Once a month, wipe large leaves like rubber or banana with a damp cloth. Shiny leaves reflect light and look healthier. Scrub the pots. Algae or mud splashes on a pristine, white pot ruin the minimalist effect. Keep a sponge handy to wipe down the exterior of your pots. 3. Dealing with supports. Fruit plants often need stakes. Avoid bamboo canes. While functional, rough bamboo can look messy. Choose sleek supports. Use black metal stakes or powder-coated steel obelisks. If you must use ties, use black horticultural Velcro or twine that blends in, rather than bright green plastic clips. Part 7. A curated plant list for the design-conscious. Here are specific fruit plants chosen not just for taste, but for their specific visual characteristics suitable for a minimalist home. 1. The architectural choice. Ficus carica, fig. Visual appeal. Large, lobed, matte green leaves. Silver gray, smooth bark. Design note. It is deciduous. In winter, the bare branches are stark and beautiful, sculptural. In summer, it provides heavy shade. Best pot pairing, concrete or unglazed gray terracotta. 2. The pop of color, citrus mitis, calamondin/calamansi. Visual appeal. This is one of the most ornamental citrus varieties. It produces masses of tiny, bright orange fruits that hang on the tree for months. The leaves are small and glossy. Design note. Because the fruit is small and plentiful, it looks like a decorated Christmas tree. It brings festive energy to a minimalist space. Best pot pairing, crisp white or navy blue. 3. The soft texture, Olea europea, olive. Visual appeal, small, silver green leaves that shimmer in the wind. It creates a soft focus look. Design note, olives evoke the Mediterranean. They are perfect for a sun-drenched, dry-looking patio. They grow slowly, making them great long-term residents for pots. Best pot pairing, sandstone or terracotta for a warm earth tone, or matte black for high contrast. 4. The graphic line, Hylocereus, dragon fruit. Visual appeal, thick, three-sided succulent stems that drape and climb. Huge, night-blooming white flowers. Design note, this is for the bold. It looks alien and modern. It needs a strong central support, like a concrete pillar or heavy timber post. Best pot pairing, cube-shaped concrete. 5. The underplanting, Fragaria, strawberry. Visual appeal, serrated green leaves, and red berries. Design note: use these to cover the soil of larger trees under planting. It creates a lush carpet at the base of a lemon or olive tree, hiding the soil and acting as a living mulch. Conclusion: the lifestyle of the edible oasis. Decorating a minimalist home garden with fruit plants is about slowing down. It is a rebellion against the instant gratification of the supermarket. It invites you to observe the slow swell of a lemon, the gradual reddening of a strawberry, and the twisting growth of a vine. From a design perspective, it proves that useful does not have to mean utilitarian. A pot of blueberries can be just as elegant as a pot of boxwood. A fig tree can command a room like a piece of expensive furniture. By carefully selecting your vessels, adhering to a strict material palette, and treating your plants as living sculptures, you create a space that feeds both your body and your soul. The result is a home that feels grounded, organic, and effortlessly stylish, a true sanctuary in the modern world. Evolving narrative of modern home design, true luxury is no longer defined by the vastness of one's estate, but by the quality of one's curation. For the minimalist, who values clarity, purpose, and aesthetics, the garden is not a chaotic plot of nature, but a refined extension of the living space. It is a green room where function meets form in the most delightful way possible. This brings us to the concept of the microorchard. Integrating fruit-bearing plants into a minimalist setting challenges the old notion that vegetable gardening is messy or utilitarian. On the contrary, fruit trees are among the most structurally beautiful plants in nature. By confining them to architectural pots, we not only manage their size but elevate them into living sculptures. A potted fruit garden offers the minimalist homeowner the best of both worlds, the visual serenity of modern design and the visceral, grounding satisfaction of growing one's own food. This guide explores how to cultivate a thriving, stylish, and low-maintenance fruit garden within the constraints of a small, minimalist home. Part 1. The architecture of the edible plant. When selecting plants for a minimalist space, we must look beyond the harvest. We must consider the plant's architectural merit. In a small space where every object is visible, a plant must earn its keep 365 days a year, not just during the harvest season. We look for 3 key aesthetic traits. Habit. Does it grow in a pleasing shape, e.g., columnar, weeping, or spherical? Foliage. Are the leaves glossy, interesting in shape, or persistent evergreen? Seasonal interest. Does it offer blossoms, color changes, or structural branching in winter? The hero plants for minimalist pots. While figs and lemons are classics, there are other, easy-to-grow, champions that offer distinct visual profiles suitable for modern homes. 1. The tropical structuralist, pineapple Ananas comosus. Often overlooked, the pineapple is the ultimate minimalist plant. It belongs to the bromeliad family, known for their striking, spiky geometry. The aesthetic. It grows as a rosette of sword-like leaves, creating a sharp, starburst shape that looks incredible in a low, wide concrete bowl. When fruiting, the central stem shoots up like a scepter. Why it works? It is drought-tolerant and slow-growing. It doesn't drop leaves, making it perfect for pristine balconies. Variety. Elite gold or standard grocery store tops rooted in water. 2. The glossy evergreen, strawberry guava, Psidium cattleyanum. Unlike the common guava, which can get scraggly, the strawberry guava, or Cataly guava, is a dense, shrubby tree with thick, leathery, dark green leaves. The aesthetic. It resembles a camellia bush or a ficus hedge. It can be pruned into a tight, topiary ball or a sleek cylinder. The peeling bark adds texture, and the deep red fruits look like ornaments. Why it works? It is incredibly hardy, pest-resistant, and tolerates pot culture better than almost any other tropical fruit. Harvest. Produces walnut-sized, sweet tart red fruits. 3. The floral showstopper, dwarf pomegranate, Punica granatum nana. If you want a plant that mimics the look of a bonsai without the decades of training, this is it. The aesthetic. It has tiny, glossy leaves and naturally grows in a twisted, gnarled fashion that looks ancient. It explodes with neon orange trumpet flowers followed by miniature red pomegranates. Why it works? It is deciduous, meaning it drops leaves in winter, revealing a complex skeletal structure that casts beautiful shadows against white walls. Care note. It loves heat and handles mist waterings well. 4. The vertical minimalist, columnar apple, Malus domestica. Bred specifically for tight spaces, these trees, often called urban apples or spire series, do not grow side branches. They grow straight up like a green pole. The aesthetic, a strict vertical line. This is perfect for flanking a doorway or lining a narrow balcony railing. Why it works? You can fit high-volume fruit production into a footprint of just 12 inches. Variety. North Pole or Golden Sentinel. 5. The perfumed gem, Calamondin, Citrus mitis. While lemons are popular, the Calamondin is the designer's choice for foliage density. The aesthetic. It is naturally bushier and more compact than a lemon tree. It is often covered in flowers and small orange fruits simultaneously, providing a constant pop of color against deep green. Why it works? It is widely considered the easiest citrus to grow in pots, tolerating indoor conditions and shade better than its cousins. Part 2. The vessel as a foundation. In minimalism, the container is the frame for the art. The relationship between the pot and the plant defines the style. The theory of grounding. In a small garden, floating pots can feel cluttered. To achieve a minimalist look, we want the pots to feel grounded, like they are part of the architecture. The material palette. Stick to materials that mimic the building. If your home is rendered concrete, use concrete pots. If it has timber cladding, use wooden planters. This blurs the line between house and garden. The shape language. Tall cylinders. These elongate the space and elevate the plant, making it a focal point. Use these for weeping or spreading plants, like a dwarf mulberry. Low bowls/saucers. These create a zen feeling. Use these for upright, spiky plants like pineapples or aloe. Cubes. These provide weight and solidity. Perfect for round-headed trees like the calamandan, creating a circle on a square geometric contrast. Color coordination. Monochrome. Matching the pot color to the wall color behind it, e.g., a white pot against a white wall, makes the pot disappear, leaving the green plant to float. This is a very high-end minimalist technique. High contrast. A black pot against a white wall acts as a graphic anchor, drawing the eye immediately. Part 3. The layout. Curating the space. A common mistake in DIY gardening is the lineup, placing pots in a single straight row along the edge of a balcony. This looks like a soldier's parade and lacks depth. Strategy 1. The asymmetrical triad. Group pots in clusters of 3, but vary the heights. The anchor. One tall tree, e.g., a 1.5 m guava in a large pot. The bridge. One medium bush, e.g., a chili pepper or large rosemary. The ground. One low trailer, e.g., strawberries or thyme. Why it works. Your eye travels in a spiral, creating a sense of movement and depth in a small corner. Strategy 2. The green room divider. Use tall, rectangular trough planters to create walls. Plant tall, dense screeners like bamboo, contained, or trellis-climbing passion fruit. This creates a secret garden feel, separating a dining area from a lounging area on a patio. Strategy 3. The negative space. Leave corners empty. In minimalism, empty space is active. It emphasizes what is there. Don't feel the need to fill every square foot. A single, magnificent kumquat tree in a spotlight is more powerful than a crowded jungle. Part 4. The science of easy growing. Minimalism is also about minimizing effort. A garden that requires constant fussing violates the principle of serenity. We need to engineer the system for success. 1. The soil architecture. Potted plants cannot seek out nutrients. You must provide them. The mix. Do not use garden soil. It compacts into a brick. Use a soilless potting mix, cocoa coir, peat, perlite, and pine bark. This ensures oxygen reaches the roots. The reservoir. For the ultimate easy experience, use self-watering pots. These have a water reservoir at the bottom. You fill them once a week, and the plant drinks as needed. This prevents the boom and bust cycle of drought and drowning that kills most potted fruit. 2. The feeding schedule. Fruit takes energy. A starving tree looks ugly, yellow leaves. The hack. Use controlled release fertilizer, CRF, pellets. You mix these into the soil once every 6 months. They release nutrients slowly every time you water. It makes feeding automatic. 3. Sunlight management. Most fruit need sun. Mobility. Put your heaviest pots on wheeled caddies. This allows you to rotate the plant so it grows evenly and move it to chase the sun as the seasons change. Part 5. The farm-to-cocktail lifestyle. The minimalist fruit garden is not just about sustenance, it is about lifestyle elevation. It is about the micro-harvest. You are likely not growing enough to feed a family, but you are growing enough to garnish a life. The garnished garden. In small spaces, prioritize high-flavor, high-impact fruits. Chili peppers. A single pod of Thai bird's eye or habanero offers beautiful red/orange jewels and enough spice for a year of cooking. The plants are compact and attractive. Mint and basil, essential companions. Plant them at the base of your fruit trees. They act as living mulch, keeping the roots cool and provide instant utility for drinks and cooking. Limes. A kaffir lime, makrut, is grown for its leaves, not just fruit. One leaf transforms a curry. Having this fresh is a luxury money can't buy. The sensory experience. Minimalism engages the senses. Scent. Citrus blossoms, narrowly. Perfume the air in the evening. Place these pots near your seating area or bedroom window. Touch. The smooth skin of a ripening tomato or the rough bark of a pomegranate adds tactile variety to the sleek surfaces of modern furniture. Part 6. Maintenance as meditation. Finally, we must reframe maintenance. In a minimalist lifestyle, maintenance is not a chore. It is a ritual of care. The Sunday inspection. Set aside 15 minutes once a week. Check moisture. Stick a finger in the soil. Prune. Snip off any dead leaves or branches crossing into the center of the tree. This keeps the silhouette clean and airy. Inspect. Look for pests. Catching them early means you can just wipe them off, avoiding chemicals. The art of root pruning. To keep a fruit tree in a pot forever, you must occasionally practice root pruning, every 2 to 3 years. Pull the tree out of the pot. Slice off the outer inch of the root ball with a bread knife. Refresh the soil and put it back. Why? This reinvigorates the tree and keeps it small, dwarfed, ensuring it never outgrows your minimalist design. Conclusion. The potted fruit garden is the ultimate expression of the less is more philosophy. It requires less space than a traditional orchard, less water, and less time. Yet it delivers more beauty, more flavor, and more connection to the natural world. By treating fruit plants as design elements, selecting for structure, housing them in architectural vessels, and arranging them with intent, you transform your home into a productive sanctuary. Whether it is the sharp silhouette of a pineapple against a concrete wall or the soft fragrance of a lemon tree drifting through an open door, these living artifacts remind us that nature, even in its smallest form, is the ultimate designer. This is the micro-orchard, simple, stylish, and endlessly rewarding.